going to make an arrangement in a pot. It's going to be upright, it's going to be front facing, it'll be perfect for a foyer entry or a countertop or something like that. So I'm going to do it in a ceramic pot. I've already got my block of Oasis in there, which is soaked in water. I've got some nice leaves, some tall leaves for the back of the arrangement, some gum, I've got some Banksias, some white oriental lilies, which will be for our height, a couple of stems of DISBUD chrysanthemums, and some amaranth, some beautiful gold amaranth there, and then I've got a white PHALAENOPSIS orchid as my feature at the front of the arrangement. So I'll just start, I'll show you how we start. So we start with our tall leaves at the back. Depending on how tall you want it as to where you want to cut it, I'm going to cut my leaf about there. So you cut, and then you can cut into the foliage like that and just pull it off. So same thing on that side, so you just cut into the foliage like that and pull down. So I'm going to place that one at the back, like that. So that will be the back of our arrangement. And I'll do the same with the other leaf. I'll cut into it. And then I'll place that one just next to it behind the other leaf. So then you've got two leaves like this at the back. For my height, I'm going to use my oriental lilies. So I've got my oriental lilies. Kind of measure with the pot and with the height of the leaves where you want it to be. So I'm going to cut my lilies to about that height. And then you just stick them into your Oasis to the height that you want them to be. So that's where I want that one to be. And then I'll run my next lily. And same thing, you kind of measure it where you want it to be, cut it to there. That one will go next to the one that I've already stuck in. And it will just go slightly lower. So about that much off. And then I'm popping it into my Oasis next to one of the other lilies and just pushing it down. And then it sits there next to it. I'm going to use the DISBUD Mum Chrysanthemums next, and we're just going to go down in with our shapes. So the DISBUD will need to sit probably about there, so you need to measure it to about that height. So I'm going to cut it to about that length, and then when I push it in, it should sit in that gap right there. And then so the next one will need to be slightly smaller, and when you push it in, it will sit slightly lower. So you've still got your groupings, but so they're still together, but they're slightly smaller. The next thing that I'm going to use is the Banksias, and they should sit, the three of them, in that area there. So again, you need to measure them so you know what length. I've got the stem down here, further down to the pot. So I'm going to cut it to about that length there. And then when I push it in, it should sit in that hole there again. And the same with the other three. We want that one to be about that length, and that will should sit. And if you don't cut it short enough, you can cut it shorter. You're better off having it longer, because you can't make them longer, but you can make them shorter. And this one here will be shorter again, so quite short for that one there, and that will sit at the front there. So we've got our flowers in our lines, in our groups, and now we're just going to fill out the sides with our foliage. So I've got the amaranth, which I think I'll just pop on this side. Any length, it doesn't really matter, you can just put it in. I'm just going to pop that there, one of them there. This one was actually broken, so I've just cut it to where I can and popped it in there. So I've still got that little bit left on the stem, so I'm still going to use that. I'm not going to waste it. Just cut it to there and then pop it in, and you don't even see that it's broken. And then I've got one more little bit there, which I'll just cut and stick down the front. So we're using all our materials. Then I've got these beautiful leaves, which I'll just pop on this side here, so they'll sit like that. So I'll cut them quite short, and these are quite soft, so you have to be careful when you're popping them into the Oasis that you don't break them. Just one on that side there, and again cut it to that length, and one on that side here. So you got your two leaves on the side there as your feature, and then the gum, I'm just going to cut into it. Just cut bits off and put it in the front of my Oasis here, quite short, so that it fills up that area there. You don't want to see any of the stems of the working of the other flowers. Strip it off and just keep popping it into your Oasis so it fills up the area. Just keep cutting into your gum, keep popping it in, and it fills up that area really nicely, so you can't see any of the stems of the other flowers. We don't want to see any of the working. There we go. Just keep filling it up, keep going around until it's all filled and you've used up all your foliage. You don't want to have any left over. More bits left. See what it's looking like. There's a little bit of a gap there, so I'll just pop some in there. Now, our feature is our Phalaenopsis orchid, so you put that in last because these are quite delicate. So you don't want to have that in before you're putting the gum in, because you might damage the flowers. So I'm going to cut that enough so that it sits at the front there and just sits out like that, like a feature. So I'll cut about that much off the stem, and that will just sit in the front there. You need to get into your Oasis, go down quite low so you don't break it, and that's just sitting in the Oasis beautifully there, and then that's our feature at the front there. So that's your arrangement finished. I'll just tidy up my mess here, and that's our finished product.